Alright, welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn modded playthrough of Greece. We're jumping right back in on our final preparations for war with Algeria, and Algeria is one of the bigger land armies in the world. So this is not an easy fight by any means. I don't want to say they have a technical advantage because I'm not sure they do. But they definitely are able to field a ton of manpower. Not a whole lot of airplanes. There's stockpiles. It looks like they do have more modern infantry equipment in pretty good quantities. 20,000. Some drones to go with that. Not a ton of like mechanized mobile equipment. I'm seeing like they're pretty much capped out their tanks and infantry equipment. So basically, if we can hold the initial assault, we'd be fine. It's just I don't know whether or not we can actually hold that line, especially not with what they're fielding in front of our units that we have on the field right here. Like we'll just immediately lose on this desert front. Though it does look like they're taking attrition damage with where they're placing these units. You can see them taking damage over time. So that is one benefit we would have in a conflict. They've also got their tank over here as well. Not fully able to be built out. Alright, so nano robots finished. Got one more research for medical nano robots. Go ahead and get that on order. And I guess we're gonna have a new budget come through quickly here. Which would be for the best. I can honestly say I'm not very happy with the Euro budget this time around, but it is what it is. Alright. I'm gonna go for missile experimentation. Since we've got most everything else we need. Got a lot more unemployment. That's not really gonna change our manpower situation. Really, the only thing would be if I start pumping out offices. Which, I'm going to be honest, is behind our supply lines that need to be built here in priority to me. So, take that with what you will. Because I do not think we're going to make the deadline. We don't have the civilian industry built up to do that. And if we look at our rail lines, like, we've finished some of it. We just need some other key lines to be finished up. Yeah, like this would be nice. Any of these. coming from any of these ports. And those on there. Kind of get some redundancy at some of these ports in case they get blown out. And off the field, cyber warfare would be very handy if we can get our back doors up quicker and faster. Right, so I'm gonna kick one of those down and then I can bump all those up. This, get that. This one, oh, pretty key. Yeah, this whole desert is just a mess right now. Alright, let's see if I take this. Yeah, we're good on power. Trying to free up some factories and boost our, well, lower our fuel consumption across the board by switching that over to power consumption and utilizing our nuclear energy plants that we have being produced. Okay. Yeah, so definitely gonna throw all the infantry that just finished into those frontline forces. I'm gonna start training them. I've got about 30 units that need to be trained. And we've got all these guys. I'm gonna go ahead and give them medals. Give them division, entrenchment, and defense when I can after the lost field. We should have plenty of political power to do that. I do see us with some manpower, which is odd and rare. Alright, so we finished the equipment. Yeah, that gives us more breakthrough with our infantry units. Let's see where we're at. Ooh, our first special operations guy. Alright, let's look for special forces or infantry, I guess. This is a winter guy with entrenchment. Got a planning speed bonus. Ranger. But he also has air cav. So does that guy, though. We'll go with him. Yeah, he does have paratrooper type bonuses, but he does come with a ranger too. Not really useful for where we're going to be fighting, I guess, but they'll be useful for other things. Let me see if I can swap him with maybe this guy. And I'm going to put a special operations force between that river. Not going to be a ton of units. So Armenia is declaring war over in the mountains of the Caucasus region. Maybe united by one or the other. Looks like, oh, maybe not. Ooh, yeah. Armenia is losing out to Azerbaijan. Yeah, so what do we have? We got a significant number of units on both sides. Looks like some of our first rail lines have finished. And we are getting some of the upgrades, but not all of them are done. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start early researching some of the infrastructure researches. Yeah, they took them out. Office opened up. Not the office we want, but it is high representative. President, Union for Foreign Affairs and Security. That was the office of the President of the European Parliament. That's fine. Somehow we're losing money now and fuel. I think that has to deal with Europe, so I'm gonna bump up our fuel consumption or trade, oil trade. There we go. It's the word I'm looking for. And hope and pray that we keep our power gain going. We're gonna get rockets. Nice. Yeah, so if you look at their force placement, they're gonna hit us hard here. We'll be able to airdrop into the back with way more units than they'll be able to field. We want to take most of the country and surround them. while they're pressing. I think we can do this war. I don't think it'll go well, but we can do it. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and bump up our military spending. We're going to get cyber warfare done, apparently. Keep doing that. Take out $100 billion loan. Yeah, I'm curious how much manpower we're actually going to get through these cycles. We need quite a bit more. Moldova. Kazakhstan's doing weird things over there for Kazakhstan. I think I'm going to add some of these offices. Go ahead and bump these up. We're going to throw these just randomly into the groupings. Oh, not that low. All right, let's keep making productivity increases where we can. All right. I think can definitely take pop growth. That's going to help. Definitely want to get our airborne plan laid out. This is going to be a ton of airdrops. And I don't have free manpower, apparently. Yeah, we're getting almost 1,000 a cycle right now. Which is enough, apparently, to build all the special forces units. So cool. Alright, so we'll fill out our special forces requirement. And that should help us with... Yeah. Alright, so... Diplomatic envoy. Algeria is guaranteeing independence. I'm not seeing anything. So let's go ahead and make sure all of our units are in the right spot. Unfortunately, they are not. And then let's get him over here. All right, airborne plan. Yeah, we're just gonna send one division. This is gonna be a rough plan to execute, but it's gonna be very important that this happens in this manner. We're there. I need as many airfields as we can get. I want to grab. And if we can get a port on the back end and split their army in half, even better. Yeah, so that goes there. Probably need this tile. Then I want to do desert stuff. I want to make sure we have the desert stuff done. Oh, that one actually has a promotion I need to lay out. Yeah, I want to split this completely in half. Because that gives me freedom of movement with all of these guys. This is a double whammy there. Yeah, that gives me a very large front line to spread these forces against. That'll just some extra one. That's a front line with my frontline forces, so that's not really a good spot, but it'll work. And yeah, maybe those back areas here. That's a supply line. If I can, I want the port, but I doubt I'm gonna get that. And then this, we can land next to that supply line. All right, let's let everyone get into position. They're a little bit trained. They're not like the most trained units. They should be very entrenched though after we get a little bit of time here. All right, so 290. I can probably pull these 90 here. Actually, I'm going to pull 130. We'll do 150, 130. Split. And I'll just have to watch our air wings. How's our recruitment going? I'm going to early deploy everyone I can. Got 3 more. Gonna add to those special forces units. This is what I was talking about, not wanting to do it early. Is like, I don't think this holds, right? Period. Let's make sure they're at least max entrenchment bonus. How long do we have to the 3rd of April? We have another month. Let's get all the units we can onto the field. We'll throw 5 into the 40 here. See where those land. Those should be pretty tough to take out. And then I'm going to want a battle plan. Okay, let's check what office. This is the one we want. Alright, so we're now president of the European Union. We're also doing a battle plan of attack. Preferably towards this rail line. Assuming we hold. And we'll give it another month. I just want to get as many units out onto the field as we physically can. Yeah, we're going to send these to... Need a lot of manpower. That's the problem all these units have, is they don't have enough manpower. Go ahead and do something pretty crazy. We're going to bump our spending even more. See what our deficit is. We're going all in. We'll deploy those, get them onto the field. They're going to join those divisions on defense. In the desert, yeah, I'm not too worried about... Yeah, it's the fact they all have manpower for the enemy that's crazy to me. So if we look at these divisions' strength here, they're almost non-existent. The fully prepared ones are fairly okay, with almost 400 defense. Infantry units, what do we got? You've got fairly strong defense there. We are pulling units from them, from their coastline. And they have enough. They're really presenting a good defense here. All right. The last hour. This is the last hour. Do we make the call? I think we make the call. I think we go for it. We're going to get absolutely destroyed, though. I think we do it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and call the war. Special operation. We're going to execute the plan. Order 66. I'm going to slow it down because this might go crazy. Yeah, so like I thought, we're going to lose right here. We are able to hold defense in the mountains, but they just have too many mechanized units here and such. Okay, these special forces units are really helping. Oh, we do have the landings taking place. Let's get these moved. These units can start grabbing territory. Ooh, we took a port. They're going to have to pull units back. They might be able to eliminate him quickly. All right. Let's see if we can engage. All right. Marines. Engage. Perfect. We're also going to engage or activate the special forces units, I think, that are on defense. Maybe not. We don't have enough manpower. Let's go with a primary force. We'll see what happens. Ooh, the landings are taking place. We've got forward units. We might be able to get into position. Some are not going well, but some are. Ooh, they got a... Alright, so they did get mechanized forces. Yeah. We want to go... We want to go and grab this railroad if we can. If not, we're screwed. What do you mean? Where'd you fall then? Alright. Forward forces. Engage. Alright, we unified the line. So that tells me... Nice. He doesn't need to move. Ah, see, they're filling that gap in. This got encircled. We do have this port, though. Alright, we're gonna have to engage everything. Yeah, it's gonna be a mess. No, 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 no. Don't you withdraw that way. Yep. Engage the unit. All right, so we made a gain into the mountainous region here. If we can grab that rail line, all of this will have been worth it, even if we lose that unit in the back end on their airfield. That sucks. Yep. Yeah, because we committed their mechanized forces. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and attack, even though we can't win. We do have a good bulky, like, kind of bridgehead area here, but only if we hold the port. And obviously one can defend, but where is... Yeah, let's see if we can split whatever they got going on. I want these just to hold steady. This is fine here. Oh, this is a mess, but we'll make it work. So this unit, all these, this, these two, delete whatever this is, madness. These two here for these. Those are not divisions I care about. We're gonna move them there. And they are gonna have an objective of meeting up with this here. Marines shrink their line into the desert here. And we just want to close off this area of operation here. Okay. So they're trying to... Yeah, they cut off supply. It's fine. They're too concerned with all the territory they just lost in their rear. So... Alright, let's look at Air Force availability here. We have some heavy lift craft available, but not many. Okay, come on. I don't think I can, because of the manpower requirement. How much manpower do I only have 100 manpower? There's no chance. Okay, so I can only do that. And these, I'm going to keep those as are. 50, these are in the Sahara. We're going to switch these to Cass. Here we've got 150. We're going to switch these to Cass. Alright. Yeah, they're just attacking to attack. These are making gains. We've taken out most of the airfields. Let's go. Let's get the encirclement. Spearhead. Alright. One attacks where we can make attacks. Oh, that's not good. They encircled one. Alright. Just to make this worse for them. Algeria. Activate. And we want a broader offensive through to here. Yeah, they've got to move troops fast, otherwise they're screwed. So that's why they're trying to reinforce right into the desert. And they gave up this position for that reason. As long as they can hold out here for a fair amount of time, they're honestly in a very bad spot. And if we can kick them out of the desert, we win the war, because we'll just win all these mountain fights. Yeah, and that's just too many units stacked. That's what that problem is. Ooh, yeah, they were able to push us back. Maybe? I don't know, it's kind of risky. Yeah, they got no supply line now. If we take this part here, we're able to take that next step into the desert there. We're golden. Oh, that was... I don't think that was a good move by them. Like, sure, it splits this back line, but this is just buying time. Do I straighten this out? Probably should. I don't know, that's a tough one. Alright. Let's get this right. I'm gonna put the reinforcements in the desert. We're pushing off this rail line right now. Let's see, we're looking at these. Yeah, so did we win there? Did we lose? What's going on? Looks like we're pushing, but then we're losing there on the defense, supposedly. Yeah, we don't have any supply up north. That's where it gets tough. I wanted to push out of the desert for that reason. So if we can push that supply line, we're in a way better spot because I can swing our heavy lift. And I need to stop this here. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this episode. Thanks for watching. Let's go over the ledger real quick. We've moved up. Territory-wise, it's kind of iffy. I'm not gonna show that till we're finalized. 96 industry in the middle of all this. Army-wise, they've killed off a couple of our battalions. They still have more than us. I don't think we've really gotten any good encirclements. Oh, look at them eliminating. And that'll free up a ton of units for them, though, that they're using over there. But that'll throw more of their forces into an area that's not good for them to reinforce. So, anyway, let's go over the logistics, and I'll say closing statements here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch everyone on the next episode, and Happy New Year.